dropped out, just fell out. I think the kids been playing it, didn't realise, and it just dropped out of the PowerPoint. So very good, very good. Can you hear me okay, guys? All right. Can you hear me? Are we there? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Oh, come on. Yeah. Sorry, Pete. Can you hear me okay? Anyone else there? Can you hear me? Make sure I'm coming through okay. I should be fine. Literally booted out the cord or dropped on the ground. All right. Sorry about that. So I've got the NBN on, but I'm going through my mobile hotspot, which is seems pretty good. It's just probably not quite as stable. But the NBN just seems to take so long to kick in. It's like it doesn't like me. All right, we'll keep going. I cannot remember. I know Vin put up a couple of charts. I think it was ALK and GLN. So I was just going to go through some of these goldies first. So that's where we started, wasn't it? DCN. So we'll forget about that. Whoops. Saracen. I mean, that's kicking along nicely. That's having a good day, up, what, 3.5, nearly 4%. Doing well. You can see the market starting to tip over now, so it'll be interesting to see whether we grind lower or hold up today, or what the market does into the close for the last few hours. It's not 3 hours to go, isn't it? Yep, just under 3 hours. That's Saracen. I mean, I find that good sell off, secondary leg lower, just a straight bounce. I can't buy into that extended leg. It's too far away from the MAs and the weekly. So I think, and it's getting extended on the daily. It's been going for a while with really overall pullback. I always find that from a risk perspective hard to take. I would rather take something that's been a bit more constructive, and you got evidence of it getting soaking up. There's no evidence whatsoever that when the sellers are coming in, buyers are going to soak it up from this leg up anyway. It's just going bang, 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 bang. It could be people hitting the offer, chasing it up. We don't know. Either way, I mean, I think Pete was saying it's fundamentally good, which is great. But yeah, that's that one. SBM. I don't mind the daily as such. I think it's really early stages if it's going to hold up. This is sort of what we were saying. It's been sold down heavy, and last time it was sort of in these oversold. It was down here, give or take it, around 245. Then it was sold down heavy. It was down sort of at, say, 240 zone. And now it's holding up around 265. So potentially that's got a little spike lower. Higher, off. So if that's the case, you're sort of looking for 265 to hold, support zone through here. If you can see these two lows, it's extended. So the first time it was pushed down, wasn't really oversold, and you can see it's popped up. That secondary move down was quite heavy selling. Yeah, it's holding up again around 265. So not a bad selling. We'll just see if that can kick off. But yeah, if you go back to the weekly, I don't like the weekly. That trend is down. There's no doubt about it. What I'd be looking for with SBM, for example, is just a secondary move higher, and so to measure it from low to high, and project it out somewhere, say 330. So I'll be a bit concerned if we got the 330 installed. That could come in line with, resistance across the tops here, or it could even get back to 3. You don't know. I just think it's a bit too heavy at the moment. You probably need gold, to kick off hard for this just to take, straight through those resistance zones. But unless it does, I'll be skeptical. This is looking too great. Northern Star, yeah, up again, same as Saracen. It's just, to me, he's getting a bit extended, a bit heavy up towards that 14 buck mark. Oz Minerals, probably want to step back to the weekly. And that longer term weekly is up. It's just probably the low end of that channel. If you can see across the lows, across the highs, don't like that much either. HUG, Glacier Gold, not a biggie. 500,000 today, not massive volume, but that's one. I just want to see it boom. I don't want to see that. It just means I've got nowhere. It's hard to get into, but I would like to see some sort of back above the MAs, consolidate, and then go. If it consolidates, we've got a nice zone to put our risk at, and then go for it. What's that? Alicia Gold, EVN. We know about that one. Newcrest. We spoke about that, didn't we? Yeah. These are smaller ones now. We're getting to this. Was it Tanami? Don't worry about that too much. Gold Road. I like that one, but it's just, I liked it more in here. Don't know why I didn't take it, to be honest. And again, we've had Friday. It could have been a buy, and I was looking at that. I don't know why. Sorry for anyone. Just missed it. Completely missed it. So yeah, and that's why I'm happy to try for EVN, and we've got WIF as well. Gore. Okay, Perseus. I mean, it's grinding higher. Don't mind that. The weekly could be extended, but don't forget you're looking at a chart that could be squashed up. It's got to go from. It's kind of weird. It's just the dynamics of the chart. But that monthly, yeah, but there's some reasons to say it's holding as MA still on the daily. There's no reason why it can't kick off. And you get $1.15. So with $1 to $1.25, that's not a bad return with sort of minimal risk. So how far can that go in stretch territory? Just look, get out or don't get in. If it sets up, it's just be wary that it is stretched in the weekly, but it was extended, say here on these highs, had a mild pullback, consolidated, and then just went bang. So maybe a bit of heat to come out. So you can get, the market can go sideways. It can sit and go sideways here for a few weeks while the seller's starting to come in, but it's getting soaked up. And then you'll see the longer it goes sideways with the stochastics going down, for me, the better. Because it just means that the sellers are trying to knock it out. But somebody is accruing stock, somebody is accumulating, and it's getting held up. And if it's getting held up, sooner or later selling stops because it will start to become a bit more noticeable. And then if that buying continues, bang, off she goes again. But we'll see. SLR, BGL. To me, that's going down. Look at the weekly. That weekly, if you can look at a bit of a pop up, 30, pull back to 15, held. You got, so the next leg up was right up to 370. We're contracting at the moment, so if it can hold up above 45 and hold up around the 50 to 55 zone, that could have some legs. It's not a massive, Bellevue Gold. It's not a big one though. I think we've had a go at that once. We got stopped out and then it took off. So again, it's one of those ones I just don't like. I don't like to lose on them. I'm not coming back for again. RMS, not for today. What's going on there? Obviously some news that they didn't like. Down 6.5%. Oh, okay. So it's just takeover offer. If it doesn't come out, expect it to pop. I'll keep away from that one for now with an offer like that. AGG, Anglo Gold. To me, sideways action. Sideways up here. If it can hold from around where it is and we get a constructive price action to play at, then great. If not, to me, that's going sideways for now. I wouldn't be touching that just yet. That's about it. Oh, WAF. Oh, WAFA. That's going. I want to see that pop 350. I want to see this. You can see the volume. You can see that on the offer side. It's not massive. And if they keep chasing it up and keep holding it, and they are supporting it, you can see the intraday action is being supported. To me, that's looking good. So that weekly, it's constructing, bounce off the MAs, holding. MAs are pointing up. Yeah, a little bit stretched, but it could easily get more stretched, go through 56, these highs, touch through the highs, and away we go. I like that. Um, you know, monthly, everything to me is looking quite good. Monthly is looking like it's just bounced off the MAs. Weekly's bounced on off the MAs. Daily, contraction. You're getting a high low coming to play, a high low here. Again, that's looking like we're coming out the other side of a contraction. So you want these contractions, and that's why I like them so much. I've always found it harder to buy. Buying into something like that, you know where your risk is, but you're sort of buying into the weekly trend up. You don't know where it's going, but if you happen to bought it here or even up here, sooner or later that weekly turns, just like anything else on the chart. Any sort of technical patterns play out weekly, daily. They all play out over and over again. I was going to show you something sometime on the what was it, Hang Seng. I was even looking at just playing around some charts, looking at the second chart, a couple of seconds, and because there's so much liquidity and there's so much movement, the same price action structures are playing out on a second there as they are on a minute, as they are on a 5 minute, as they are on a 30. It's just that repetitive patterns. If you can get a handle on that, then that's just going to improve your trading. So what I'm saying is that it's got to clean out. So that move up there can only go so long before you get the people who buy it late are going to be antsy if you start getting some pressure. Anyone that's bought in here is not so antsy, but that fuel from basically 27 zone up to 56, at different stages people got in, so at different stages are going to get out, and the heat's going to come on them at different stages. So if it starts to turn, first one's going to be a bit worried. You're buying around that 50 zone. Next one's down, say 46. Next one's down, buying it off 40, 42, and so on, all the way down the chain. So what I like to see is that constructive pullback. If it starts to hold higher lows, that's when you might get longer term trades. They're adding to a position, or new buyers are starting to step in, and just looking at the charts to see where potential, what could be doing. I mean, weekly is looking great, and like I said, the monthly could be heading straight back up to 60, these previous highs. So it is looking good, and you've had, with this run up here, you had a good volume come through. You can see all that volume come through in that run up. So if it's starting to go again, there might be some more volume starting to come in. All we have to do is wait and see how it plays out. So like WAF, Vin, you had ALK. Hate it. It's just kicked on. I was looking at that. Alkane, again, personally wouldn't go near it now. I mean, it could go to the moon. I still would find it hard to buy. I need some sort of buying structure. I need to see people get washed out from here. I want to see the commitment of the buyers when they get washed out. How do they react? Do they bail? Because if they're bailing, there's going to be some fundamental traders in there. There's going to be that might be thinking it's overbought. But if they don't bail and it starts to get soaked up, that story is saying higher levels. It's basically telling me, they're looking to higher levels. But right here, it's that psychology that starts kicking in, fundamentals or not, or technicals. It's that psychology that kicks in. If you bought it, at 70 cents and you're up 30, 40%, you're looking at a dollar, you go, God, I think it could go to $5, but should I take some profit? You start messing with your head. And the more that people, it sort of consolidates, the more people start messing with their head, and that psychology comes in. That's why you start getting triggered some sellers. And then you've always what we call the weak hands. The weak hands will get out first. But if there's more commitment longer term from the buyers, and there's going to be a whole bunch that just go, no, I think it's going to $5. I'm committed. I'm holding. Then that sort of first sort of pullback, if it's met with some buying and starts to get soaked up, we want to analyze that, see how it plays out, and then see if there's an entry starting to set up. If it just goes on from here, there's always a chance you get caught buying at the highs. It's that fear of missing out if you're buying here, and that's what I'd be concerned about with ALK at the moment. But longer term, I mean, it's away from the MAs. I mean, that's overcooked on your weekly. Go back down to your monthly, it's getting overcooked as well. There's nothing to say to this. Not saying that it's going to pull back. I'm just saying I wouldn't touch it here. I want to see something constructive, maybe a pullback, see what's get the double high starting to come in, getting things like this. Start to get a higher low, starting off the MAs, and then looking to buy into it. Because then you can project that you're going to buy in early. You know where your risk is. You've got a small risk for the potential payout. Quite fan of lithium at the moment, but stock-wise, if I'm going to get into this, I don't want it to come down from here. I want to see it pop up through that high 24. It's probably a bit clearer now through that high. If it consolidate here, it means it's this little, couple of days only, but it's popped up hard. If it consolidates a high, if it starts coming down and it comes back down to say 20, 20 and a half, I'm a bit more concerned about it because If it's strong, if it's a good story, if everything's working in its favor, you shouldn't get those deep pullbacks. It should be people are committed. They're looking, getting greedy. Nothing wrong with that, but you're looking towards, 50 cents. So they shouldn't be getting out. You should be holders. People are willing to hold. If you start getting these deeper pullbacks like this, it kicks on and it has a deep pullback. If you're looking into the support zone back September last year and it's come back in the support zone, I wouldn't buy that because I'm concerned. Why did it come back so hard 3 days in a row? One big day, that's on the 30th of September, one big day finished on towards its highs in the top half anyway of that day. And the next day opened, bang. And 3 days after that, why did that happen? Because it's not what we know, it's what we don't know. And if you're looking at it going, I don't know something, but someone else does, that happens time and time again, then you've got to question it. So you don't want to see these deeper corrections. For me, at this stage, if I was looking to buy it, it had to hold up around the 20, 21. 21's here, 21's about here. It had to hold up, start getting soaked up by buyers. Then I'd look to throw some risk at it. But when it doesn't, it just gets smacked down. I mean, there's no one willing to buy it, but around the 21, 21, 22 mark, looking because they think it's going to 30, 40, 50. No one's thinking that. It just means that there is no buyers on the bid, and someone wants out, bang, down. And then obviously we know what happened after that. But if that same sort of thing happens in, it comes down to 19, I would just be, forget about that one. I mean, let's just see what the volume's doing. There's a massive volume at 20, but that could be, 286,000 at 20 cents. Doesn't mean that they want to buy it at 20. It could be they're trying to push it, but if they can't push it and the offer starts stacking in, keep hitting the bids, then someone might be trying to get out from 14 cents. You don't know. They might be getting out from 19, and they got a bit of volume. So yeah, anyway, so maybe just because it's lithium. Lithium had a bit of a run. I don't know what lithium prices are doing themselves, but PME, we'll look at that in a sec. I don't know what they're doing, but if they start to run, yeah, you buy it through that 24 high, maybe at 25 on stop, see what some volume you can get out, and see if you can have a bit of a run. I mean, there is potential. Just take that market cap. They get played. That's what I hate. They get played a lot. You got guys on Twitter with a massive following saying, oh, it's going to turn, it's going to turn. They just talk all sorts of rubbish because they're long, they're trying to pump it. They might be capital raise, they've been involved. Who knows? There's some really dodgy playing, things that happen around the markets. Doesn't mean you can't make money on it. It just means be careful. So that's sort of the level through there. Now, if this starts failing backing off from that level, I'll be a bit concerned. But I like the way it did pop up. Problem is, every time it opened up quite strong, it's sold into, gapped up here, it's been sold into. So just be concerned that the action's been like this, and it's the first time we've sort of taken out that anchor. So it may need to reset, have a big reset. Hold a high low above 12.5, and then you see there it actually opened above, failed during the day, and finished back below. And then this retest here could start to fail, and then you'll be looking for it to go through that support around, what's that level? 2019, 19, that low. So that's what I'd be looking for. It starts to hold. I want to see consolidate here. It's always a good thing if it consolidates just below some resistance levels and you can see it consolidate, then that breakout volume is probably going to be a lot more. If it does break out, if it gets back above 25 and kicks on, buying it at 25, so above 24, back above this high, essentially. Does that make sense? So yeah, that's the plan of attack on that one. All right, PME. Yeah, PME, I want to see it sit on the MAs first. That could be going sideways. And the way it rejected, I think I did send an alert on this one. So the things that have me concerned just at the moment, I think that the longer term this pullback, the more constructive, it's not what I want. You want it to see it, or you want to see it. So you've had move down, move up. I consider that all one move. And then you had this secondary move up. The thing is, you've broken down that sort of price action. Maybe a bit late. Normally, I like to see, something that comes down. Once it starts to hold a higher level, I look to buy through that off a higher low. That you can argue that's it, but I don't also like to see when it, buy that high low with my risk down here when it's up near overbought territory. Because overbought to me is how many more people are willing to dive the gradual high low, start creeping in, and then look for a break. That would be awesome. And if it breaks here, I'm concerned that it's a bit of a flush. I don't like the way this is what's got me. The way this red candle, probably it did high of 27, took out those highs, all these highs, took them out, closed below. Never a good sign. So I'd let that one play out a bit more personally. That's why I'd just take it. If it does kick on, I'm happy to leave it. I'm happy to forget about it. If anyone can see price action here, this is more like I'd want to see, pop up, even if it flushes out that, like it did here, if you can see that move up there took out these highs. Great. I mean, if you bought it with a break, okay, you're okay. Your stop would have to be right down here, below these lows. If you bought it on this candle on the 4th of December, 18, I'd be happy bought that. You got lucky, but there's nothing to say. Just because it broke a level doesn't mean it's going to kick on. Markets can do it time and time again. They can flush you out. They know that there's going to be buy stops above there. All the market knows that it happens a lot more in currencies, indices, all that sort of thing. They flush out left, right, and center. If they're going to go, they're going to go. They're just going to blast through and off they go. And then you're right, but a lot of the times they can wash a level out and pull back. So what you want to do, I'm always happy to see that wash out. What happens on the first pullback? If it gets soaked up like it did here, and it's sitting on the MAs, look at that, that's perfect. So you had, you can buy through this high. You've even had another little minor pullback, buy on that day on the 2nd Jan through this high. It just means your risk is next to nothing in comparison to what it was previously. So it just means you've got better risk. You know that the buyers are on your side. Well, the weight of numbers is going to be on the buy side, which is on your side, which was what you want to see. Those averages, the price is holding above the averages. Yeah, sort of like the wins in your sales. That makes sense. That's what I'll be looking for on PME. But at the moment, it's not doing that. It's just, MAs are flat. Look at the weekly. It's got to sit there. If it can sit there, the longer it sits above, better look at the daily, above the MAs, they're better for me. And then potentially you got this sort of scenario playing out. It's had a big correction, a high low, a high low. It's holding, consolidating. The longer it consolidates, the more likelihood I think it's going to go up. That's it. One more. DDR. I don't like and this is one that we just mentioned before, Dicker data. I was just looking at this the other day. Good day today, but the volume's not out of hand just yet. If we just go, let's just take this. I'm just going to draw this up. So what we're looking at, don't forget, is intricacies. So we've all got, we can see the patterns. We know what we're looking at. It's just these fine details of price action, what's happening, or what we think's happening. We know that's going up, but each time, is it worth buying? Is it getting a bit extended? We haven't had a fair pullback. We're getting extended here. All these sorts of things we're discussing. It's more the psychology of what would you be like if you bought it and you're watching this up here. You bought it on that break. Your risk is here, and you're watching this sort of action. And you watch this lower high. What would you think? Okay, because we all think very similar in that respect. It's just our irrational thoughts that may play out. We can't control them. We haven't got discipline or other sorts of things of a trader. But I think most people would be looking at, you start cruising down here, you've gone down, up. Let's just take it back. You've gone down here, you this little pop, and you start going down, then you're going to be going, oh, I've got bought it in here. I've got my risk. Is that going to get snagged? And then it pops up. So sooner or later, your mind starts playing with you. But what I'm saying is that we've got our risk here. Do you widen your risk because you think, oh, look, I'll be fine. I'll put it below this low, and then you widen it and you get tagged. If you experience enough, you shouldn't do that. You should just take it on the chin. You can reassess it, but you never, whatever the premise was for getting in, you stick to it. Because if it's not playing out, it's not playing out. Forget about it. You got it wrong. Reassess. Don't start widening stops around because that's just a recipe for disaster. One day you'll get you probably look if it keeps you in the game, as in you widen your stop and your original stop would have got stopped out, but where you widen it to doesn't get tagged and you make profit on that one. Then you do it again. It starts training you to start doing it again. You've got, oh, it worked last time, we'll do it again. Sooner or later, it won't work, and you'll keep widening it until you hammer yourself and you take a huge loss. So that's why I'm an advocate for if you plan this out at the start and it doesn't play out, get out. Or just leave your stop there. So anyway, what I'm looking at for DDR, is it DDR? Yep. Let's forget about that now. We've got longer term, looks like that's sort of the trend. I don't like this washout, and DDR can wash out. It's washed out highs here, lower high, started coming all big sell off. It did, we've got a level through there, but we also got that level through there was washed out. So if you're looking at that's the anchor. Basically, we've had that pop up. That's your secondary leg down. We've come and corrected all the way back up. We washed it out. We've come back down to this level around 650. I want to trade off a high, and the fact that it's come all the way back down, I mean, it's only a small level, but if you break it down, we've had that leg up, pull back. To me, if it was strong, it should have kept going from here. Instead, it didn't. It washed it out, finished below that level, and then come all the way back down. But it's done the reverse. It's washed out that zone, that's last high low. So what I'd like to do, I'd like to see, it's popped up. I'd like to see a high low come into play there. And then I'll be more inclined that buyers are soaking up. They didn't do it the first time. They might be soaking up, looking at that as double bottom. And then to me, then you start looking, we should blast through that high at 750 and start looking towards 8. But until that plays out, I'm not willing to do it because it's coming down too easy. And this washout here could lead to a deeper correction. If we start failing where we are now, we could be correcting down to $6. Just don't like those washouts. And to me, the MAs are flat at the moment on your daily. And if they're flat, they're not rallying. You don't want to be the first one in because you're not sure whether it's going to start leg up or not. When you start getting these pullbacks like this one as a prime, look at that entry. MAs are not flat. They're heading higher. You've got a bounce, a clean out here. That's actually perfect. This is what we'd want to see here on a bigger picture. If anyone can see that, let me just see if I can drill down that. Oops. Where was I? Here. Just take it to there. Okay. Screen snapshot. There we go. This is what I'd like to see. Level in here, got tagged a few times. So you got people in here, bought on the break of that high, even if they bought here. It finished roughly there. Next day it was down. It sold all the way back down to this support zone around 475, just here, 475. Then it started to lift. That's what I'd like to see. I really like when it doesn't quite get up there. So what it's doing, people are looking at that. If you didn't get out here, like say you bought it on that break, you rode this down, you had a stop low here, and then you're starting to watch this, it's starting to come down again. So at this stage, you're going, oh, it's a lower high. Look at that double top, lower high. It's going to go through the low. I'm going to get stopped out. I'm getting out now. And all of a sudden, you see it start to sit on top of the MAs, chop around here, hold the MAs in a good sign. Don't know what the volume's doing, but you've got stochastics are starting to go up. I just expect that to start blasting through these highs because it's going to sucker in a lot of people. And all that price action is just flushing people around, confusing them. Just after what I was saying there, you've got people bought it here, come back down, they rode that all the way down, didn't get stopped out, hanging in there, watching that, expecting a lower high. So at this, like I said, at this stage, say around here, or even up to about here, that could just be a lower high, and we could go bang, lower high, get stopped out, market rolls over, we go all the way back down to $1. You don't know, but that's what could be going through people's heads. When we start to lift, great, then you get a big run on. And from here, you just, it's about managing risk. How do you want to manage your risk? Come all the way back down, which is a bit of a, not very nice, but yeah, that's what I'd ideally look to happen here. I want to see that hold. I want to see it consolidate below this 725 zone and get that kind of high low come into play. So what it could be doing, if it starts backing off from here, people thinking it's lower high. If you're not in, you're watching it to see if it can hold the MAs. The MAs start to roll up. it holds, sooner or later it's going to crack to the upside, and then just buy on the break. All right, that's probably about it for me now, guys. I'll probably call it a day. We've done all right. I think we'll just, so next week I should be good. Should be right to go. I've got my internet's on. So I'll hopefully I won't kick it out. I might tape in the make sure I tape the PowerPoint socket into the PowerPoint for the modem so it doesn't go off. So sorry about the confusion there, but we'll be right to go next week. Shouldn't be a problem. Thanks for joining me, guys. Have a good day. We're down only 3 at the moment, so we seem to be holding. See what happens coming into the end of the day. That could line us up for the next few days' action. Anyway, speak to you again soon. Cheers, bye.